Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome. If you are new to the channel, I am Samantha, a fellow twin flame survivor slash soulmate believer. I'm actually on a journey to my own soulmate reunion, and one of the things that my guides have repeatedly told me is that in order to have resolution in this, that I needed to get healthier, and I needed to lose weight, and I needed to make my body stronger. And so I have used that for the last, are you ready for it? 8 years as an excuse, as a way to run. And I've learned a lot in that time. I've learned a lot of understanding about there's runners on both sides, and there's a lot of different ways to run. And if I'm entirely honest, I've been running just as much as he has. Because quite frankly, our relationship barely got started. We effectively looked into one another's eyes. We both saw it. We both got terrified. And we both had our excuses why we stopped speaking to one another. So, at my birthday earlier this year, we are going to get to the cards in a minute. My birthday earlier this year, I was pretty much brought to a dead stop in my life and told to stop running. So as part of that, it's taken me a few months. It's been a couple months since my birthday. As a part of that, I had to agree to take on my weight and my physical health. And one of the ways I'm doing that is to kind of drop everything else in my life. But that in turn led to this YouTube channel, because what I am going to do is read cards for people. I got to find something to do in my spare time since I have pretty much dropped everything to be able to focus on my health and what I eat and how I work my body. So that all leads me to today and the first video on this channel. It's an exciting time. I have these tarot cards. They're Tarot of the Divine, and they're beautiful, beautiful cards if you haven't seen them. Each of the cards is linked to folklore or mythology or fairy tales. I don't find it to be a great deck. I don't like doing spreads with them because there's so much depth in each card. But what I do like to do is use them as a catalyst for the rest of the reading. And how's that for day one? It is the Wheel of Fortune. It is the card of destiny. And I think that this channel is going to be very personal for me, but I know that it will resonate and connect with others. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to be here for entertainment purposes or for fluff. I'm here about my own journey and connecting with those of you out there in a similar situation that are serious about your own journey. So we've got Destiny as our catalyst card for everything else I'm about to pull. In this deck, this card is Anansi. It's from Ghana. It's an Akan mythology. Anansi literally translates to spider. In the Akan folktale, it's a character that takes on the role of the trickster. He's also one of the most important characters of West African, African American, and Caribbean folklore, which I think is kind of cool. I'm just going to read you real quick, like literally off the Wikipedia page. It says here that he often takes the shape of a spider and is sometimes considered to be a god of all knowledge of stories. Taking the role of trickster, he is also one of the most important characters of West African, African American, and Caribbean folklore, which I just said. Originating in West Africa, these spider tales were transmitted to the Caribbean by way of transatlantic slave trade. Anansi is most well known for his ability to outsmart and triumph over more powerful opponents through his use of cunning, creativity, and wit. Despite taking on the role of the trickster, Anansi's actions and parables often carry him as a protagonist due to his ability to transform his apparent weakness into virtues. I like that. He is among several West African tricksters, including Brer Rabbit and Luke Rabbit. I really like that. And, in tarot, of course, the Wheel of Fortune is our destiny card. But I like the deeper meaning of that. I loved how he uses his weaknesses as virtues. I like that about this card. I think that's a good lesson for all of us. It speaks to me. This weight stuff is difficult for me. This weight stuff is something I don't want to deal with. But there's something about the deeper meaning of that card that makes me feel like, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. It's my destiny. And I can use what has been a weakness as a strength. And on the bottom of the deck today, we have Temperance, which is our angel card. Patience, temperance, balance, wait for it. Underneath that, we have the Three of Swords. We have the Ace of Cups. And we have the High Priestess. Obviously, Eight of Swords under that, but I was only going this far. Let's tell a little story. The universe is telling us, those of us particularly in our twin flame / soulmate situations, we need to have patience. Our broken hearts will heal. A lot of us have broken hearts. My heart isn't actively broken, but I have a lot of wounds from my twin flame situation that need to be healed. And for me, these wounds, have halted me. I had a relationship in 2012. It went on for a couple of years, and it's the relationship that I consider my twin flame. And it left me so enlightened and so scarred at the same time that I have declared myself good, that I don't need romantic partnership. I've had to come to face myself in the mirror on that and realize that actually this life for me is about romantic partnerships. That is the best way that I evolve, that I transcend. I learn from romantic partnerships. I learn in romantic partnerships. I become better than I am when I go through romantic partnerships. This card is, of course, speaking of pain, the card that comes after this, of course, is the Four of Swords, which is take the time to heal. But I feel like the energy of this card is holding the Four as well, particularly when behind that is heal, because you have great love coming. And that is exactly what my guides keep calling the soulmate that I've been running from for 8 years. My great love. Your intuition on the situation is correct. If there's somebody that you think that this is a soulmate situation, a twin flame situation, if you feel it, if you think it, listen to your intuition. Your intuition is correct. I'm going to go ahead and lay out some cards from the top. I'm going to leave this reading open to just let Spirit talk. I'm going to be doing different types of readings. I'm going to have a lot of spare time. I was going to say free time, spare time. I'm going to have a lot of time on my hands for the next 98 days while I do this weight stuff. And how better to use it than to help heal the collective, to help heal myself, to enlighten us. So I hope that you'll, like the button like the video so that it'll get shown to more people. I trust God in that too. But I do want to reach as many people that need what I am trying to do here for healing or growth or enlightenment. So I appreciate you being here very much. Let us see what our reading is. My guides have already told me don't use reversed cards in this reading. So anything that comes up reversed, I'm going to turn around. All right. The cards in this reading are going to be read center, left, right. This is our main card. It is the Three of Wands. In this deck, she's looking at the waves, waiting for the right wave, waiting to catch the right wave. So we're in a holding pattern. It certainly speaks to me. Holding pattern, waiting for the right wave to come along. What's fueling the wave is a tower moment. I had one the other day. Huge one. I did some cards for myself. Worst reading I've ever seen. I've been reading cards for more than a decade. Worst reading I've ever seen. And that was in and of itself my own tower moment, because I looked at that and I was like, I've got to get straight with God, with my truth. I've got to stop running from things. Over here, you've got the Emperor. Now, the Emperor in tarot is all four kings balanced in one person. That's a big ask. But I feel like reading this under the energies that I'm getting, what I'm seeing is we're waiting for our wave to come in. The tower it's an underwater volcano. It's not. It's a tree branch being hit by lightning. But when I look at this, I can see underwater volcano. That's creating the waves. You catch the waves to ride to the completion of your soulmate cycle. Let's go ahead and clarify. I love tarot. All right, there's some warnings coming up in this, which I appreciate. I always appreciate when the guides warn us and give us heads up for things to look out for. All right, so on this card, you might want to know what's creating the tower. Nostalgia and the Lovers. This is your soulmate twin flame relationship. This is especially, I'm going to talk to you, especially for those of you that have been running or that are waiting. Look at yourself. Look at the areas in your own life where you may be running from this situation on whatever level. Because what this is telling me is that nostalgia about the soulmate connection is going to create a tower. It certainly did for me the other night. That's going to cause your wave to come in. That's going to lead you to your twin flame or your soulmate. I don't really like the labels, to be honest with you. Extraordinary soul bonds, romantic partnerships. It is what it is, whether you label it or not. And we all know what it is. We felt it. This card has on top of it the Hanged Man and the Ten of Swords. What I like about the Ten of Swords, most people hate the Ten of Swords, and understandably so, because it's usually a violent card with swords sticking in a body or an animal or something of that nature. In this card, what I like about it, that to me, it looks like the dawn of a new day, and she's walking towards it. I get the energy of it. She's resurrected and moving towards it. The Ten of Swords is dead, done, over. But in this card, she has risen again and is walking towards, this resets to the Ace of Swords. So she's walking towards the dawn of that new day, which is, of course, your Ace of Swords. This card in this deck in particularly, to me, it's a beautiful card. It's a card of promise. It's a promise. If you will let go of something, you can move forward into everything that you wanted. Coming right after the Hanged Man, I know I'm reading these reversed. The Hanged Man, again, in this deck, because of this light, I always see this as this huge epiphany. Like this huge moment, like you've been stuck. You've been hanging here. You've been stuck. Huge epiphany allows you to walk into the new dawn. And in the new dawn, you'll find your wave. Again, I'm going to relate this back to my story because that's what I have. The epiphany, the tower moment brought on my epiphany, which has allowed me to walk into a new day where I stop running and I get my stuff together. And don't get me wrong, he's not sitting there waiting to hear from me. He doesn't talk to me either. But I can get my stuff together and be ready to catch that wave. Over here, I see some warning over here, particularly with the Two of Swords. Using the energy of this is the connection, is the partnership, is the soulmate. It's the person that you're either running from or that ran from you. That's who this card is representing. But this card on top of it, I don't feel represents him. I feel like it represents you / us. Take the blinders off. These two birds are like pecking the heck out of her or threatening to. She's all tied up in this. She's got, a blindfold. The Two of Swords is always blindfolded. There's usually a decision to make. There's usually two swords. You've got to choose something, but you can't see what it is. Quite frankly, take the blindfold off. Take the blindfold off, see what you're dealing with, and then deal with it. Especially with the Page of Pentacles here. Now, pages can be frustrating cards. Because, they bring offers, but there's such a juvenile energy to them. There's such a quiet energy of that to them that I know for a long time, I used to hate seeing them show up in a reading when I was doing readings for people. I would hate it when it showed up because I'm like, oh, that's a nonsense card. It doesn't even mean anything. But we really need to go deeper. And with the Page of Pentacles in particular, it brings messages of new beginnings. They're the inspiration for the new beginning. They're like you say to God, I want to start over again. I want to move in a different direction. God sends you a page with instructions, with directions, with inspiration, with, an outline of where you need to go. Pentacles, of course, rules the material realm. So this is, I'm getting a sense of the energy. It's like you already have what you need, but you need to put it together. You need to put it to use in the material realm. You need to start using what the page brought you. You need to use what you already have, what you already have. You need to put that to use. Take your blindfold off. Use what you've already been given. I think when you take the blindfold off, what you see instead of this is lumber to build a house. It's not exact, but that's a good analogy. Whatever it is that you need to do to get to here, you already have. It's sitting on the ground. Once you take the blindfold off, you'll see it. You can put it to use in the physical, because a lot of the times with these connections, hold on one second. A bunch of cards just like literally jumped off the deck onto the floor, which I'm going to show you what those are in just a second. But a lot of times in these connections, they're all in our head, they're in the spiritual. It is time to bring these connections into the physical realm, and I think the Page of Pentacles is a good representation of that. This whole situation, the entire relationship, is destiny. It is your destiny. Will you see it through or will you not? Even when, we define things as runner chaser and we think that we're in the chaser / waiting position. And I've been there, 8 years I've sat in the quote unquote waiting position. Waiting is passive. And when you're ready, you'll be ready. I'm not saying, jump if you're not ready. If you've got stuff to do, if you've got stuff to deal with, divine timing is at play. It will work out as it's supposed to work out. But check yourself. Check your motivations. Check your understandings. Do some deep meditation on your soulmate relationship and find out, ask your guides to show you any area that you're not looking at, that you're avoiding looking at, that is hidden in your subconscious, that you can't see right now, that might lead you to either your tower moment or your new dawn. Well, your tower moment does lead to the new dawn. The cards that actually jumped out on the ground I thought were interesting because it's the Four of Wands, the Star, and the Six of Pentacles. And this is, I usually draw a couple of cards at the end to kind of clarify everything and pull it all together. And I find this really beautiful because this is how they came out. So again, center, left, right. This is a wish fulfilled. This is a wish that it's something you've wished for. It's something you're manifesting. There's divine timing at play with this, especially with this card here. Because you've got to remember, this card is crossing everything. I feel the weight in it. She's wishing on a star. But she's got to wait for the answer to come through. What she's wishing for is a stable union. The Four of Wands often represents marriage. It's 1111. That's what's being wished for here. And what needs to happen is balance. Balance between the two partners, yes, but balance in yourself. Again, I'm going to say, ask your guides to show you where you're out of balance. Ask your guides to show you what you can't see right now. Ask your guides to show you where your work is. I'm going to, again, using myself as an example because that's what I got here. These cards to me is waiting for your ship to come in. In this case, we're waiting for our partnership. We're waiting for our romantic soulmate to come in. We're waiting for our twin flame to turn around and see us. In this card, she's waiting for a wave to come in. The Tower is going to bring the wave. This can be a tower in your soulmate's situation too. You can read the cards for either yourself or for your soulmate. And actually, I will do both for you because it's the same thing. When you're talking about twin flames, even when you're talking about soulmates, we mirror each other. Our journeys mirror each other. We're pretty much always struggling with the same thing. In my case right now, it's fear. We both have a fear of this connection. He's handling that by refusing to speak to me. He has his reasons for not wanting to speak to me, and they're valid. And it makes him look like he's made the right choice. My fear is coming out in my refusal to lose the weight because my guides have flat out told me I cannot move forward in this relationship until I've taken care of my physical being. So I refuse to do it. That's how both of us are dealing with our fear. God will only let you run for so long before they bring the tower in. The tower is caused by nostalgia over the soulmate connection, missing this person, wanting this person back. That's for you, that's for him or her, however it works. Please don't be offended by my gender pronouns. I am completely, whatever suits your situation, just switch the pronoun to what you need it to be. Over here we've got an epiphany, which quite frankly I think the epiphany leads to the tower, which leads to the new dawn. You know what you want. You want this with this person, the balanced emperor. That person needs to do their own work, whatever it is. You're not responsible for that. You're not responsible for their work. You're responsible for your work. So let them deal with their stuff, and you look at what you need to do. And in this reading, you need to take off your blindfold and look at what's already been brought to you to deal with. You have everything that you need. It's on the ground in front of you that you will see once you take this off. And then, in your wish, balanced partnership is what? It's a wish for balanced partnership, marriage. It's here for you, but you got to take care of this stuff first. You've got to look at your own stuff. Where are you running? I get that that's a personal interpretation of this, but I think it's a valid interpretation of this. I've been reading twin flame cards for over a decade, and well, no, actually that isn't true. It won't be a decade until next year. So I've been reading specific twin flame stuff for about 9 years now. And I have always seen the same thing in the twin flame relationship, the twin flame phenomena, the soulmate phenomena. It is a mirror. And those of us who have been quote unquote left, the chaser-waiter dynamic, we always think it's about them figuring stuff out. We think it's about them coming to grips with the relationship. It's about them reaching out to us. What I've come to believe, what I've seen, is that we hold the alchemy because we're awake, because we know what this is. And there is something in our own lives that we are not doing, that we've been told to do, that will change the tides and allow them to come back in. This is a balance. It's always about balance in the twin flame soulmates. This is a completely balanced partnership. This is two halves of the same soul, however you want to put that. They can't come together until both of them have dealt with their stuff. But one person is usually awake and one person is usually not. The one that's awake, we have greater burden on us because we're awake, because we hear it, because we see it, because we know it. So what I would advise today, based on these cards and just based on my experience and my own intuition and what I hear my guides say, look at yourself. I'm going to challenge you to do that today. Look at yourself. Are you running in any way? Is there any part of you that's sitting back a little smug going like, oh, well, it's on there. The ball is on their court. Because I would pretty much guarantee you that it's not. It looks like it's them running, but it's very often us running. We're running from alignment. We're running from God. We're running from the relationship. We're running from the connection. There is safety in being the person left. Even though we feel like we want it more than anything and we're driven crazy and we pine and we long and we want them to come back so badly. There is, most often I see, and it's certainly true in me, there's a part of you that is sort of relieved because these aren't easy relationships. They are scary. There is a lot of emotion behind these. More emotion than most people will ever feel in their entire lifetimes. You feel in one connection with one person. Do some self-reflection and see if you are hiding anything from yourself. If there is any area that you need to take these blindfolds off. Because I really want today's ushering in a new era in my own life. I want to usher in a new era for anybody who's watching, for anybody who needs it. I want us all to start on this journey today into a new dawn, into something more substantial, into something beautiful, into something that's partnership, into something that brings closure to these relationships. And I don't mean the kind of closure like, okay, we've moved on from one another in peace. I mean reunion. This is what I want for all of us. Let's start a journey today and see where our work lies, and then let's do the work. Let's do that together. By April of next year, let's see how many of us we can get together. Now, I'm doing this in December of 2021, but this is a timeless energy. So if you see this 5 years down the road, the next 3.5 months, let's see how close to reunion, to union, we can come. That's what I'm setting the intention of this channel for. That's the path that we're going to start out on today together. This is our goal. And I believe we're going to get there. Oh God, and I believe we're going to be, I just got a huge wash of joy across my heart. Oh, sorry. I wasn't expecting that. I think that we're going to get this. I saw marriage. I saw weddings. This is a beautiful thing. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is a beautiful thing. Let's get there together. Let's do this. Because you know what happens when we come together in union with our soulmates and our twin flames? We change the freaking planet. Our joined vibration changes the planet. And God, it needs changed. We're all talking about raising the vibration on this planet, but these pairings raise it tenfold to what any of us can do on our own. And that's just the bottom line truth of it. That's why they're so complicated. That's why they're so difficult. Because these unions, as they come together, they are the biggest driving force in the change of the vibration on this planet. Oh, I'm sending you guys my love. I will be back later today with another reading. We have 98 days together, at least to start with. Let's change our lives, and then let's change the world. I love you. I'll see you soon.